Now, here's an interesting question. The listener writes, do you believe that the mixed multitude that left Egypt during the Exodus were all believers? If the Red Sea deliverance speaks of salvation, would they then be believers who were out of fellowship with the Lord?
Now, here is an example of a question that I do not feel that I could give a categorical and dogmatic answer to it. Any more than today can I answer the question when somebody comes to me, especially here in California, and especially when I was pastor in downtown Los Angeles, they would say to me, "Why, Dr. McGee, I know this Mr. So-and-so. I knew him back in Chicago or Detroit or some other place, could be many places, and he taught a men's Bible class, and he's a very prominent layman, and he's come here to California. He's drinking now and running around. He's divorced his wife. Was he a Christian or is he a Christian?" And I have to say, I don't know. I'm not able to answer the question because only God can see the heart and only God can judge. But there are certain patterns that are put down. There are certain rules that you can follow. It is true that when the children of Israel left the land of Egypt, there were a group of people that actually didn't know whether they were horseback or afoot. They didn't know who to go with. To begin with, there had been mixed marriages. An Egyptian man had fallen in love with a Jewish girl and married her. And a Jewish man had fallen in love with an Egyptian girl and had married her. Now you have the offspring that are being pulled two different ways. And it wasn't so bad as long as the two families were neighbors, or at least they could live one at one end of the town and the other at the other end of the same town. But when the children of Israel took out and started back to the Promised Land, these folk had to make up their mind. And some, of course, stayed. Others made up their minds to go. And they crossed the Red Sea, and we always think of the Red Sea as being a picture of redemption. By faith they crossed the Red Sea, the writer to the Hebrews said. So these people did have enough faith to cross the Red Sea. And I would like to think that they were saved. But they became a thorn in the flesh of Moses. And they became a great deterrent to the children of Israel. They caused them to miss many blessings. And they, to me, are a picture of a great many folk in the church today. Now, over a period of years, there are certain people I very candidly cannot say whether they're saved or lost. I don't know. They make a profession of knowing Christ. They can even give a testimony. And yet their lives certainly do not mirror a Christian at all. And so I have to reserve judgment and say, I don't know. And here is an example of one of those questions. I've always wondered about the mixed multitude. Now we know this, that they never got into the Promised Land. They never got the blessings that should have been theirs. That whole crowd of the mixed multitude died in the wilderness, and they never knew what it was to do that. And I'm convinced that there are a great many Christians that are saved that never get out of the carnal state. Now, I wish they would and would pray they would, but they just simply don't get out of that state at all. And I can be very harsh with them at times. I found that they're a great hindrance in the church today. Fact of the matter is, as one great preacher in this country said years ago, that 20 atheists can't do near the damage that one lukewarm church member can do.